here back with another video, and today we're going to do a little talking video. We've been doing a lot lately of those. I look kind of busted today because I really have just been running errands and studying. I posted this on my Instagram story, but I don't know if you guys have seen it, but basically I'm going to school to become a therapist, so it's gonna be a very long journey, years down the road. But yeah, so it's gonna be a lot of hard work, but I'm doing it. And it's kind of ironic because I'm filming a video right now about what I did to help me heal from some traumas and just heartbreaks that I went through. And I'm here to give you guys some of my advice. And it's also kind of crazy that I'm also going to school to become a therapist, because I feel like throughout the years I've kind of been doing mini therapy sessions for you guys through YouTube videos, and that really helped me find a passion for it, and now I'm going to school for it, which is crazy to think about. So I've just been studying today. But yeah, so anyways, with that being said, I am going to be talking about healing today, and kind of just being able to heal. That was a really big question of mine, was about healing. I'm in a relationship, and a lot of people have a lot to say about my relationship, saying that it's too soon since my ex or whatever, which I don't really care. And I want to remind people that me doing this video talking about my past relationships and showing you guys how I healed and giving you guys the advice on how to heal and how to get over heartbreaks and things like that isn't me talking about it to be problematic. It's me talking about it because it's stuff that I went through in my life, and then I'm allowed to share, and I'm allowed to tell you guys how I got through it. So I don't want this to be something where people are like, why are you still talking about this, blah blah. I get asked on the daily by people just on advice on situations like this, and I'm happy to give it to you. So this has just been a lot since I got in my new relationship, because everyone was just it's so soon after your recent one, which for me, 8 months, it was about 8-9 months before me and Brendan started dating, since my last relationship, which it doesn't really matter. It's really no one's business how short of a period that you need time for healing after a relationship. I think that was a pretty long time, and if it was longer it wouldn't have mattered, and if it was shorter it wouldn't have mattered, because it's my life, and if I think I'm ready, I'm ready. So I've had a lot of situations that have just they've just been crazy, and I've been through a lot, especially for my age. But it's definitely hard to figure out how to heal from things. It's definitely a thought in your head where you're just damn, how do I even start a healing process? Because for the longest time, I didn't really understand what a healing process was. I was the hell's a healing process? How am I, it's just something that sometimes you hear and you're okay, how do you even start that? I definitely had some things from my past that I had to really get deep with myself and heal from that before I could get in a new relationship, of course, which I did that, and I took a lot of time to just get over that. But I want to start this off by saying that sometimes when you're in a relationship, especially with long ones, and especially when you're not being treated how you should be treated, it's very common for people to mentally distance themselves from the relationship but stay. And so I've done that before, and it's nothing to feel guilty about, because we all make that mistake, and it might not always be the most fair thing to the other person, but we live and we learn, and that's just how life works. So my point with that is that sometimes you get treated just not your worth at all from someone, which for me in my past relationship, that was what was going on. I really wasn't getting treated my worth. There was just always shit happening. I was always finding out a new thing, and it was even if it was true or not, the mental toll that it took on my body by trying to save a relationship that I just kept finding shit out about, it was just a lot. And so it made me so mentally drained of that person and the relationship that it came to a point where I was trying to just keep myself in it, because I had been with the person for a while, and it was just why get out of it? Make it work, And this isn't to say oh, I never loved, because now I'm in a new relationship, I'm I never wanted to be. No, that's not at all what I'm saying, because there was points in time where I thought my exes were the love of my life. Okay, Do I think that anymore? No, I was a little delusional and I was like, oh my god, these people are the love of my life. And then reality hits you, or, you know, you get out of like the honeymoon phase or just something clicks in your head where you're like, this person's not really the person for me. And everyone goes through that. There's always like, you just sometimes get in moments where you think that this person is so great, and then you really step back and you're like, do I really even like this person, or is it the relationship that I like, or is it the feeling I like with them? And so, with a couple, not even all of them, not all of them, but with a couple of my last relationships, it came to a point where I was just so mentally drained from them that when the relationship ended, it was already like I had gone through the breakup a million times, honestly, because there was always fighting, there was always breaking up and getting back together, that, when it finally became real and it was like where I was ready to walk away from it, and I was like, yeah, like I'm done for real this time, like I'm not going back, I'm setting my ground. It didn't feel that crazy to me because I had already gone through it so many times. It was just me finally actually walking away. That was the difference. When you go through that, it's not so much a healing process. Everyone's different. You also have to remember that everyone's different. Everyone takes different times with things, and everyone just handles things differently. But for me, those situations didn't really take much healing at all. And I know a lot of people were asking, like, how did you heal before you got in a relationship with the new person that you're with, which my boyfriend now is Brandon. I'm sure you guys all know about him. But it was more like I was just so focused. When I had gotten out of my last relationship, I was so focused on myself. And I'm not even just saying that. I had never, ever felt the way that I felt when I had gotten out of that relationship. It felt like there was, like, no love for me in the world. Like, it just felt like, not even because of what happened, it just felt like I was like, I don't want to go through it again. I don't want to build a relationship with someone. I don't ever want to say I'm in love again. I don't ever want to feel the feeling. I don't ever want to go through having to, go through the stages of a breakup with someone. I just didn't want to go through it. And when you get like that, that's a really hard thing to get yourself out of. And it was really hard, but I started realizing that the issue wasn't so much that I just, like, was so over it, and I was like, I just don't ever want to be with anyone again. Like, I just rather be by myself. It's more simple. I just have to deal with, like, it wasn't more that. It was more that I had things from my past that I needed to heal from and I needed to talk about. And it came to a point where, like, I had even talked about this on TikTok, but there was some mentally shit going on with myself. Like, I was mentally not all right. And that was what took me so long to heal from. And put in mind, even when I met Brennan, I didn't want a boyfriend. I didn't want to be in a relationship. I had no desire to be with anyone. It ended up happening, but it still took me even some time from there. And so when it, I was just going through a lot mentally and a lot about my past. And, like, when you're, like, alone with yourself and you finally are alone after being with someone for so long, and I've been in a lot of relationships. There's nothing wrong with being in a relationship or, like, a relationship person. I've always been more of a relationship person, not because I feel like I need someone, because I know that I'm fine by myself. And I know that you guys might not believe me when I say this, but I'm very secure on my own. I know I don't need someone. I know that I would be perfectly fine alone, not in a relationship. It was more of the fact that I've always not really been with, like, the whole, like, hookup culture. I hate situationships. I just hate it all. So I've always just been someone who likes to be in a relationship rather than be single and be in, like, the whole culture that we have for single people nowadays, because it's very much like a stereotype, if you know what I mean. So that was just kind of the issue with me and why I was just, like, always in a relationship. And I admit now that it might have not been the best for my mental health, because I should have just took time to myself instead of always worrying about someone else. And I realized that. And it mentally was, like, one of the worst moments in my life. And it was really bad. And so this is where I kind of started realizing that I had to really heal. And it wasn't necessarily about things that recently had happened in my life. It was things from years ago. It was things from my childhood that I was just randomly remembering, and it was just a lot. And so my healing journey that I always talk about, how I had this, like, huge healing journey in these past, like, 6 months, it wasn't even just about past people from my life. It was about just every traumatic thing that I had went through was, like, hitting me at once. And so, I started realizing that you kind of just, you have to, like, admit it to yourself. And that's one of the best advice that I could give someone about healing, is admitting to yourself what happened. Sometimes our minds, we try to block things out and we try to act like we don't remember them because they're just hard. And we don't want to think about them and we never want to hear about them, so we just block it out of our memory. We try to forget about it. And one of the worst things about that is the fact that it comes back to like bite you. Years down the road, months down the road, it comes back, and sometimes it will all come back at once. It could be something that triggered it. You just never know. And my best advice to anyone is to face everything. Let yourself be sad about it. And I know that everyone says that. They're like, oh, cry about it. But I can't tell you guys of how much, like, to an extent, that really can help. When you really sit yourself down and you really let yourself be sad and let yourself like be vulnerable with your feelings, like talk about your feelings, go to a therapist, talk to your family, you know, if you're in school, go to your guidance counselor. Just the littlest things, just talking about your feelings and getting them out is gonna make the biggest difference. And you know, I was never really like the type to like talk about my feelings, like I'm like, oh, I'm so strong, like I just hold everything in, I have no emotion. We all have emotions deep down. We all have them. No matter how strong we like to like act or how strong we like to put on an act, we all have them because it's literally human nature. And it's nothing to be embarrassed about because everyone in the world literally goes through rough times. And it sucks, but you'll get through it. And so with that being said, it came to a point where I started telling people how I felt. I mean, I would never in my life tell my friends like some mental health shit like that, and I was telling them because I just needed to get it out, and I needed to like put into the universe what I was feeling, and I needed to be able to say it out loud, and I needed to be able to, you know, get in my head enough to tell myself that it was okay to reach out to people and tell them how I felt. I mean, even people from my past that I maybe wanted to apologize to for something I did that was like bothering me, or reaching out to people, becoming on good terms with them. It's just the littlest stuff like that can make such a difference. And, you know, I feel like for my healing process that I went through, there was a lot of little things that I did. I mean, it was more just like being by myself a lot, going out by myself, you know, like spending long periods of time by myself. Like I would spend weeks without seeing any of my friends. And I think that's such a big part, is just spending time by yourself, learning about yourself. You can have as many friends in the world and still feel lonely. You can be with your husband or your wife or whoever you're with and feel like you have the best love life, but still feel lonely. That's just kind of a mental health battle that, you know, everyone faces at least once in their life, sometimes a couple, you never know. No matter how many people you have in your life, don't let that distract you from like your feelings, because I feel like sometimes people will try to convince themselves, because like that was me too, like I'd be like, I'm not lonely, like why do I feel like this, I need to get out of this, and I would always just push it to the side. So when I really like let myself be alone and experience how it is to be alone and not be so dependent on other people, just start realizing that it's okay to be alone. If I had no friends, I would be just fine with myself. Do I appreciate my friends, and do I think that they make life so much more fun? Yes. Do I appreciate my boyfriend, and I think that he's like one of the best people in the world and literally want to be with him all the time? Yes. But I know that I'm okay by myself too. And I can take breaks from seeing my friends and my family and my boyfriend, and I can be okay by myself. And when you realize that, it's going to make such a difference, and not just only in like your healing journey, but when I tell you guys that I have never been more secure with myself than I am now. I genuinely feel the best I've ever felt in a relationship, and that's because I took the time to myself. I didn't rush into anything. I didn't go out and look for it. I literally was so focused on myself that I didn't even have like the time to even go and look for someone. I didn't want to look for someone. When it comes to you, it will come to you at the right time, I'm telling you. And so, like I said, I've just never felt this way in a relationship. It just feels also natural. Everything just happened by itself. That's how it should feel. That's how it should feel. And trust me, when you finally like heal yourself and like heal that like inner child in you that's needing some healing deep down, you just don't know it, but you'll find it one day. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it will come one day to you, and, you know, you'll heal it. There's you have a different perspective for everything in life. And it's just the little things. Like, I would read, like, poetry books, and they still help me to this day. And, you know, it's nice to know, you know, a lot of the poetry books, like the heartbreak poetry books, they have a lot of really relatable stuff in there. And, you know, I would read them and I would be like, damn, like, I'm not alone. Like, other people have felt the way I felt. And just knowing that you're not alone is a real big help, and it helps so much. And it was even as little as, like, there's, like, a park by my house that has this really pretty swing that I would go to, and I would literally sit on this swing for hours, like 2 hours, playing music that I liked, reading a book. Like, it was just the littlest things. And still, I'm in a relationship, and I've been making new friends, and I've been, you know, just having a really good life lately. But I still will cancel plans when I know I need some self-care time by myself. Sometimes I'll even be with my boyfriend, and I'll tell him, I'm like, hey, like, I'm gonna go downstairs, go take a bath, read a book for a little bit, because, like, I need some alone time. He understands. And you know why? Because it's good for you. It's good to have your own alone time. And that's what healed me the most, honestly, was, like, learning how much self-care and alone time and just being by yourself and doing things you love by yourself makes such a difference. I promise you guys. But it's just the simplest things like that. Going on a walk by yourself, laying in your bed at night alone, playing music that you like, watching a movie you like alone. It's just the simplest things will teach you so much. They'll teach you so much about yourself too. And I started noticing that there's nothing in the world that is more important to me than my own worth. If someone does something to me now that I don't like, it's that quick as I'll unadd you. I won't unfollow. I think that's, you know, stupid. I'm not really for the whole, let me unfollow someone because I'm not close with them anymore. No. Like, it's a social media follow. Like, calm down, you know? Like, I just feel like that's immature. But on ways like communicating, put them on D&D. Don't answer them. Unadd them. If they're gonna make me feel less than I am, or make me feel like there's any, or, you know, a better way to explain it is make me feel like they don't give me the time and effort that I give them, it's that quick to cut them off. It's that quick. And no person in the world is gonna take that away from me, because I became so secure with my own worth and knowing what I deserve and knowing what I should get, and knowing that if someone's not gonna give me the same effort I'm giving them, they're not worth it in your life. You know how many people there are in the world? If you lose a friend, there's another friend out there, just waiting to find you. Like, I know that sounds crazy, but there's a plan for you, and you'll always end up getting what you deserve and what you want. It might take some time. We're all young now. We're all growing into our, like, adulthood. I mean, even me, it's scaring me because I'm realizing that I'm turning into an adult, and I'm, you know, talking about how I want to go to college, which if you asked me a year ago, I would have said, no, I'm not going to college. I'm not doing it. I have too much on my plate right now. I would have said, you know, I have my businesses, and I do have my businesses, and I know that it's going to be a lot, and I know it's going to be a really hard thing, but I also know that I want to do this for a living. Like, I want to sit there and I want to talk to people, and I want to, you know, help them heal. Because it was such a different realization when I finally realized, like, the realization I had after I, like, healed from all these things that had happened in my life. And I don't think I'm fully, completely healed. I think no one can really fully, completely heal from things. I think it's more getting peace with yourself. And so that's another thing I always tell people is, like, don't be, like, so quick to, like, be like, I need to heal from this, blah, blah. It's more you need to find peace. Like, find peace with what happened. And that was really what it is. And that's why I want to do it for a living, just because I just want to be able to do this. And it's always been like a dream of mine. I just really never realized it until now. And so, you know, life changes, and it can change very quickly. And you just have to remember those things, and you have to take the time to really think about it and take the time to yourself. And, you know, I mean, I see a lot of comments telling me that I didn't heal and I shouldn't be in a relationship and I moved on too quick. No, I didn't. I did everything exactly how I wanted to do it, and I did everything exactly when I felt okay to do it. And like I said, did I go out looking for it? No. It found me, And that's the best relationship you can ever ask for, is one that just finds you on its own. That's my story of how I healed and I got in this mindset. And you know, it's also like being secure in your relationship too, because you know, sometimes when you haven't really I like to say peace instead of healed, honestly. When you haven't really came at peace with some of the past things from your life, sometimes it's really hard to trust someone, and it's really hard to feel like they're not going to do the same thing to you. But when you've came at peace, it kind of makes you realize in your head that not everyone is going to hurt you. And if they do, it's okay. Because that's life. And we're going to go through heartbreak, and we're going to go through happiness, and we're going to go through so many things in our life. Like, so many things. And you can't just sit around being scared about it because you're scared to get hurt again. Because trust me, I felt the same way. I was like, I'm so scared. It's life. It's going to happen. There's nothing you can do. Just like in my video when I was talking about, like, cheating, like, blah, blah, blah. If someone's going to cheat on you, they're going to cheat on you. If someone's going to do you dirty, they're going to do you dirty. Like, if someone's going to be honest with you, they're going to be honest with you. They're going to do what they're going to do. The only thing that you can control is yourself. And I think that the best feeling and, like, peace and healing with yourself is knowing that you did the best that you could do. And you gave the best love that you could give. And you gave all, like, you just gave yourself, you know? And it's such an amazing feeling knowing that you were a good person to someone. And you did exactly what you felt was right in your heart, and you know, you have a big heart and you're willing to give it to people. And sometimes it can be exhausting when you're always giving your heart to people and you're never getting the same energy. But keep that, because I'm telling you right now, in the world we live in, like, people's hearts are so cruel. And when you have, like, a genuine, pure heart that you're trying to give to people, it's so much more valuable than anything else in the world. And so my advice to everyone, just keep that. Literally hold on to that. Because I'm telling you, one day you'll find someone that appreciates you so much and that is going to have the same energy for you. So that's my advice. And I definitely think that I've been, like, the happiest I've been in a while. And I think that it has a lot to do with the fact of, you know, just everything that had happened in my life and how I, you know, came at peace with it. And then I let everything just come and find me. And I realized that that's the best you can do. Don't go out looking for it. Just let it find you. And that's my advice. I know that was kind of long. That was like 25 minutes of me talking. But hey, this is my advice, okay? But I love you guys. And if you guys want any more videos like this, you know what to do. Just comment. Just let me know, because I'm always down to film some advice videos for you guys. But yeah, love you guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, tap the bell, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.